Today, we are going to see the story of Tsukimichi Moonlit Fantasy Season 3. And let me tell you, if you think the Season 2 finale was the biggest part of the story, you are in for a serious surprise. The real storm, the event that changes absolutely everything, kicks off the second the anime faded to black.
So let me ask you this. What if that ending we all saw wasn't the real ending? What if it was just the calm before an absolute hurricane? Because that's exactly what it was. The anime literally stopped right on the cliff edge of the single biggest turning point in the entire series, a moment that completely redefines the world and Makoto's place in it.
You see, the anime gave us this nice, quiet moment to catch our breath, but the source material? Oh no. It gave us a goddess literally descending from the heavens onto the battlefield. Things had gotten so desperate that the goddess herself had to show up and basically force Makoto into the fight to save the other hero, Hibiki. This wasn't just another scrap, this was the event that redrew the entire world map.
And that brings us to what I call the unseen finale, which is where the real game actually starts. Makoto wasn't just walking into another fight. He was stepping onto a world stage with some of the most powerful beings alive, and everybody was about to get a front row seat to what he can really do.
I mean, just look at this lineup. You've got Sophia, the legendary dragon slayer. You have Io, one of the top generals in the entire demon army, and then there's Lancer, a superior dragon. We're talking a creature with the power of a minor god here. This isn't just a strong team. This is a force that could literally burn a country to the ground. And this is what the world saw the quiet merchant Reidu walk up to.
So naturally, everyone watching, everyone there, they all braced for it. They expected a brutal, bloody, drawn-out fight for survival. You know, a desperate struggle against impossible odds. But that's not what happened. Not even close.
The reality was, well, it was shocking. To call it a fight is being generous. This was an execution. A completely one-sided, overwhelming display of power, so absolute that it barely even counted as a conflict. The source material puts it bluntly, it was no contest.
And it all went down in the blink of an eye. First, Shiki just erases the superior dragon from existence. Poof, gone. Then Makoto himself, all alone, completely crushes both the demon general and the dragon slayer. And the result? The entire demon army just breaks and runs for their lives, pure terror on their faces, with Sophia herself having to flee to survive.
Now here is the most staggering, mind-blowing part of all of this. If you think that was Makoto going all out, you are nowhere near the truth. To pull off that total, instant annihilation, he used less than 1% of his true power. Let that sink in. This wasn't a win, it was a declaration. An announcement to the entire world that just changed the rules of the game forever.
Because after that one single event, the world is never the same. The mysterious merchant Reidu is basically gone. And in his place, a brand new global superpower has just been born. This, right here, is where the real story of Season 3 begins.
You know that feeling, right? The second a word leaves your mouth, you just wish you could snatch it back. Well, in this story, we're going to see how one single, poorly chosen word doesn't just create an awkward moment, it puts an entire relationship on the line. Let's dive into this scene where one tiny request unleashes a total storm of emotions. It's a crazy question to think about, isn't it? Can one little word really have that much power over everything? In the story we're about to unpack, that question is literally front and center. We're going to see how a tiny, tiny mix-up manages to turn everything completely upside down. All right, so here's where it all starts. The entire misunderstanding, and I mean all of it, boils down to two Japanese words. They sound almost identical, but their meanings, they are worlds apart. And getting this difference is the absolute key to understanding the drama that's about to kick off. Okay, so look at this. On one side, we have togikata, which just means how to wash rice. Super simple, domestic, an everyday chore, right? But on the other side, you've got togi. And that means, well, it means an attendant for the night. One is about making dinner, the other is about something way, way more personal. You can already see how this is going to go wrong. So let's set the scene. Imagine a huge mansion. Late at night, there was a big party, but now it's over and everything's quiet. Our four main characters, that's Makoto, Mio, Tomoe, and Shiki, they're all just hanging out, relaxing, winding down. The vibe is totally calm, maybe even a little sleepy. And in this quiet moment, something clicks in Makoto's head. He remembers he promised to reward Mio for all her hard work. So he turns to her and asks this simple, totally innocent-sounding question. Tell me, what is your wish? He has no idea that this one question is about to completely shatter the peace. And Mio's answer, oh man, it comes out of left field. She kind of stammers and says, please, make me your attendant. And just like that, the trap is sprung. Makoto heard one thing, but what he thinks she meant is something else entirely. And that single misunderstanding is about to cause so much drama. You can just imagine Makoto's mind going a mile a minute. First, he's just completely shocked, but then his brain starts catching up. He has to admit, yeah, he does have feelings for Mio. The thought of a first time even flashes through his mind. And after this super quick internal debate, he lands on a decision. Okay, he'll do it. He's gonna grant her wish. But here's the twist. Just as Makoto is about to open his mouth and agree, Mio completely panics. She blurts out something like, oh no, wait, I made a mistake. That's not what I meant at all. And boom, in an instant, Makoto's all-in heartfelt decision is just left hanging in the air, going nowhere. And just to make things 100 times more awkward, Tomei and Shiki, who've been watching this whole train wreck happen, they just burst out laughing. So now imagine being Makoto. You're completely baffled, you have no idea what just happened, and now your friends are laughing their heads off. Total confusion. But here's what's so interesting. Even with all this confusion and awkwardness swirling around, Makoto does something pretty amazing. He manages to take this incredibly weird moment and turn it into something genuinely meaningful. Let's see how he pulled it off. He goes around and thanks each of them, one by one. He starts with Tomei, his first follower, thanking her for showing him the Asura world and helping him literally build a home. Then he thanks Mio for reminding him of simple things like cooking, which kept him connected to the human world. And finally, he thanks Shiki for holding their company together, even when he, Makoto, was acting like a kid. So, what was the real reward he had in mind? It wasn't what Mio accidentally asked for. It was something so much deeper. Makoto gives all three of them his own last name, Misumi. This is a massive gesture. It's his way of saying loud and clear, you aren't just my followers, you are my family. But hold on, the story isn't over, because we still have a big question mark hanging over Mio's head. Why did she act so weird? What was really going on in her mind when she said that? Let's dig into it. So the truth finally comes out in a private chat between Mio and Tomoe. Tomoe basically calls her out, saying, why did you back down? Why'd you make that lame excuse? He was totally going for it. I don't think he would have said no. And it's a good question. Why did Mio let that golden opportunity just slip through her fingers? And Mio's answer, it changes the whole game. She explains that she wants Makoto to want her, not as a reward, not as a thank you for her hard work, but because of his own genuine desire for her. She doesn't want gratitude. She wants passion. And this right here, this brings us to the real heart of the conflict in this whole story. It's this fundamental clash between two powerful emotions, gratitude and desire. Let's break down how Makoto and Mio are seeing their entire relationship. This really lays it all out perfectly. From Makoto's point of view, this is about family. His motivation is gratitude, and his goal is to reward these people he loves like family. But for Mio's side, it's all about romance. She's driven by desire, and her ultimate goal is to be wanted passionately, as a lover. They're on completely different pages. So here's the bottom line. At the core of their dynamic, Makoto feels this deep, heartfelt gratitude for his family. But Mio is craving something else entirely. She wants a connection that comes from pure, unsolicited passion, not from a sense of duty or thanks. And that difference, as small as it seems, has huge implications for their future.
A Divine Visitor, the story of Tsukimichi Season 3.
Today, we are going to see the story of Tsukimichi Moonlit Fantasy Season 3. And let me tell you, for those of you who have been following the light novel or the manga, you know this is where things start to get really interesting. The whole scale of the story is about to change in a big way.
So we're jumping in right where Season 2 left us, which lines up with Chapter 168 of the source material. The big conflicts with the demons and the humans seem to be simmering down a bit, but believe me, don't get too comfortable. The story is about to take a hard left turn, and it all kicks off with a single, loud knock on Makoto's door. And this really sets up the central question for this whole arc, right? What happens when someone you didn't invite just shows up in a place that, by all accounts, shouldn't even exist? We're talking about a Sora, of course, Makoto's personal hidden dimension. Well, let's find out.
First up, a rude awakening. The scene opens with Makoto in his private room, deep inside a Sora, his own personal pocket dimension. After all the recent chaos, things have finally started to settle down. For the first time in what feels like forever, it's actually peaceful. But, well, that peace isn't going to last long. Makoto gets jolted awake by this insistent knocking. It's early, he's tired, you get the picture. He calls out for them to come in, probably expecting just one person, right? Nope. In walk all three of his most powerful followers, the Dragon Tomo, the Calamity Spider Mio, and the Lich Shiki. And what really gets his attention is the look on their faces. It's not fear, it's not anger, it's just sheer bewilderment.
Next up, the unidentified intruder. It's Tomo who steps forward to give the report, and she's usually the calm and collected one. But her words just make everything even weirder. This is definitely no ordinary security breach. It's something else entirely.
She says it's an intruder, or should I call it a visitor? That little pause, that hesitation, it says everything. I mean, a Sora is supposed to be impenetrable, a total secret. The idea of an intruder is bad enough, but visitor? That implies something way, way stranger is going on.
So of course, Makoto's mind is just racing. Did the humans find this place? But Tomo shuts that down right away. It's not a human. But here's the really bizarre part. They haven't captured this person. And it's not because they can't. It's because this entity isn't even fighting or hiding. It's just waiting. Calmly and patiently waiting for Makoto to wake up.
All right, a voice in the head. So just as Makoto is wondering, okay, how do we even talk to this thing? First contact happens, and it's not through a door, it's not a messenger, it's a voice that just booms right inside his mind.
Yo, Misumi Makoto, morning.
So this strange telepathic chat kicks off. You've got Makoto on one side trying his best to be polite, but clearly just completely out of his depth. And then there's this visitor, who's totally at ease. He even apologizes for his Aniki, his older brother, causing Makoto so much trouble. Now that's a huge clue, isn't it? An older brother that Makoto knows? So Makoto, trying to piece this all together, politely asks for the visitor's name.
And then he gets an answer. The visitor gives his name, and this single, short name is about to blow the whole mystery wide open and send Makoto into a state of absolute panic.
The name's Susanaro.
And the gears in Makoto's head just slam into place. Susanu, an older brother? Sasuyomi, his own patron god. The realization hits him like a physical blow. This isn't just some powerful being. This is a god.
And not just any god. We're talking Susanoo no Makoto, one of the most powerful gods from Japanese mythology, the god of storms, famous for his, let's just say, a destructive temper. And, most importantly, he's the younger brother of Tsukuyomi, the very god who sent Makoto to this world in the first place.
So yeah, Makoto is wide awake now. The confusion is gone, replaced by pure, unfiltered panic. Think about it. A deity known for causing natural disasters when he's in a bad mood has been patiently waiting right outside his bedroom. The potential for catastrophe here is astronomical.
So now we're preparing for divinity. But Makoto doesn't just freeze up. That panic immediately shifts into frantic action. He has no idea how to properly welcome a god, right? But he knows one thing for sure. He absolutely cannot be disrespectful.
He just starts firing off orders like a machine gun. Mio, cook every kind of Japanese food you can think of and make a massive feast. Ima and Shiki, get a grand welcoming party together now. And Tamo, you're with me. We need to find a landing spot for something quite big.
They race outside, and they don't have to search the sky for long, because there it is, a shape so enormous that almost defies belief. Something dark like a bird, just impossibly huge, descending towards them.
To give you a sense of scale, from where they're standing, this thing looks about as big as a modern passenger plane. Even Tomoe, a superior dragon herself, is just stunned. She admits that this bird rivals, or maybe even surpasses, a dragon in sheer size. This is the kind of divine power they're about to face.
As it gets closer, Makoto notices a distinct feature: 3 legs, and he recognizes it instantly. This isn't just any giant bird. It's a Yatagarasu, the mythical 3-legged raven of the sun. The name itself means 8 span, which is basically an old term for unbelievably huge. And in this case, that is no exaggeration.
So we're back in Azora, and the usual peace has just been completely shattered. An unexpected arrival has just turned everything on its head. And for Makoto, this isn't just a surprise, it's a total reality check. The situation is escalating way faster than he can process, and the stakes, well, they've just been cranked up to a divine level.
And really, this one thought from Makoto says it all. It's just screaming through his mind as he stands there, staring at his new guests. The panic is real, because the beings who just showed up in his personal sanctuary in Asura are actual gods. And they are on a level of power he has never, ever encountered before.
So, who exactly are these uninvited guests? Well, they didn't just walk in. They made their grand entrance on the back of a raven, the size of a passenger plane. I mean, talk about an arrival that just screams power. This isn't a meeting, it's a divine audience. And Makoto's about to get his first, frankly, terrifying impressions. So try to see this from Makoto's point of view. It's a scene of pure disbelief. Stepping off this unbelievably huge raven are three very different figures. First, there's an old man with dark skin and a surprisingly friendly smile, and he's carrying a familiar-looking pouch and mallet. In the middle, there's a young man in ancient clothing, just radiating this wild, powerful energy. And Makoto's brain immediately supplies one name, Susanoo. And then, completely shattering the whole vibe, you've got a woman in a modern business suit whose intelligent eyes are just taking everything in. What an absolutely bizarre and intimidating group.
Now, even though he's completely terrified, Makoto's gotta step up. He's the master of Azora, after all, and the introductions that are about to happen, they're not only going to confirm his wildest guess, but they're also going to hint that this is way more than just a simple social call. And there it is. The man in the middle confirms it. Yep, he's Susanoo. For Makoto, this is absolutely huge. We're talking about the brother of Tsukuyomi, the moon god who kicked this whole adventure off by throwing him into this world. Suddenly, that connection feels way too close for comfort.
Next up, the old man introduces himself as Daikokuten. And for Makoto, the name, the pouch, the mallet, it all just clicks into place. He immediately connects the dots to the legendary 7 gods of fortune from Japanese mythology.
So, okay, Daikokuten. He's a god of wealth, a good guy, right? He seems calm, even kind of nice. But Makoto just cannot shake this deep, unsettling feeling. You know that feeling when a word is right on the tip of your tongue? It's like that. There's some crucial, forgotten detail about this god just hovering out of reach. And that sense of unease, it's a warning bell he just can't figure out yet.
And then we get the final introduction. And this one just completely shatters Makoto's understanding of how things work. The businesswoman is Athena, the goddess of wisdom from Greek myth. He was probably picturing armor, a spear, the whole classical warrior look, not a power suit and what looks like a tablet. It's a jarring reminder that these beings are on a whole other level. Okay, so here is where that friendly facade really starts to crack. Makoto asks them why they're here, and their answers are super vague, almost casual. Oh, I was interested in you, just a few small matters. But then, Susanoo lets the mask slip. He mentions that Athena has brought a harsh lecture and a collar for that stupid girl. Yeah, a collar. It's a chilling reference to the goddess who rules this world. All of a sudden, this isn't a friendly visit. It feels a lot more like an intervention, and a pretty hostile one at that.
Remember that weird, unsettling feeling Makoto had about Daikokuten? Well, that little ticking time bomb of forgotten knowledge is about to go off, and it's going to turn that slight unease into pure, undiluted terror.
So while Tomo, his #1 subordinate, is giving Athena a tour, Makoto is left alone with the 2 male gods. And as he's looking at Daikokuten's kind, smiling face, that nagging memory is just clawing its way up from the back of his mind. Why does a god of good fortune feel so dangerous? The pieces just aren't adding up.
And then, boom. The connection fires in his brain. It's a fragmented memory, just 2 words that change absolutely everything. Mahakala. In an instant of pure ice-cold dread, he gets it.
And here is the horrifying truth. Daikokuten is just the Japanese name for Mahakala, an ultimate form of Shiva, the Hindu god of destruction. This kind-faced god of wealth is also a being of absolute annihilation. We're talking about a god who could wipe a country off the map without breaking a sweat. Makoto is so terrified his voice actually cracks when he asks for confirmation. And Daikokuten gives it to him with that same gentle and now utterly unnerving smile. Now, just when Makoto thinks things can't possibly get any worse, he's about to learn another chilling lesson about his guests. Turns out, the danger isn't just physical, not even close.
Out of nowhere, Susanoo just bursts out laughing, and what he says next freezes Makoto's blood in his veins. He quotes, word for word, the private warning Makoto had just sent to Tomei through their thought transmission link. The one he was sure was totally silent and secret. Well, it wasn't.
And the awful reality just crashes down on him. Susanoo casually explains that for gods like them, reading a mortal's mind is basically child's play. His thought transmissions, his internal panic, every single private thought he's had. They've heard it all. His mind has been a wide open book for them since the second they arrived.
But here's the twist. This total violation of his privacy actually leads them directly to their true purpose. Now that all his secrets are laid bare, they finally reveal why they're really here. And you know what? It has nothing to do with punishing the goddess. It has everything to do with saving Makoto from her. Susanoo just cuts right through all the tension with a shockingly direct question. He asks about sudden headaches, about uncontrollable nosebleeds, symptoms Makoto has been secretly dealing with for a while now. He's not just close to death, he is walking on a razor's edge, and these gods know exactly why.
And this right here is the heart of the problem. Daikokuten lays out the goddess's sheer, reckless incompetence. See, she gave Makoto a divine-level ability, the mastery of words. But to hide it, she took a lazy, dangerous shortcut. She just snipped away his ability to talk to humans. But the catastrophic flaw in that plan is that all the divine power is still there, crammed inside his mortal body. His physical form is overloaded to its absolute breaking point, held together by what Daikokuten calls surface tension. He is quite literally one bad headache away from just ceasing to exist.
So, the path to survival is clear, but it is incredibly daunting. Daikokuten tells him he has to keep doing what he's been doing, expanding his magic capacity, but not just by a little bit. No, he needs to do it on a massive, unprecedented scale. Basically, he needs to build a much, much bigger container before the divine power bubbling inside him tears him apart from the inside out.
Of course, this immediately brings up Makoto's biggest fear. If he expands his power, he expands a Sora, and that's like putting up a giant neon sign for the goddess to find him. But Daikokuten just waves that concern away. He, Susanoo, and Athena will personally work to make sure a Sora stays hidden from the goddess's sight. So for the very first time, Makoto isn't just surviving on his own, he has the active protection of other, far more competent gods.
And so there it is. Makoto now has a clear path forward, and he's backed by some of the most powerful beings in existence. He's been given a green light and a divine shield to grow his power without any limits. But this solution brings up a whole new, critical question, doesn't it? What happens when a world that was meant to be a secret sanctuary starts to expand and expand and expand? What new dangers are waiting when Azora is no longer a secret?